And it is chapter 13 and of 1 Kings. And this story is not a very well-known story, but I found it interesting to read it and looked at it several times, actually. And so let's go through this. Now, behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, and Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burned upon thee. He's basically saying to Jeroboam, the northern tribe, that there'd be a king from David. I don't know why. I don't know all of the ins and outs on this, but it says Josiah by name. That would basically conquer them. That's what it sounds to me. Now, I don't know if that's the whole thing. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, This is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. Now, rent means to break or tear down. And so the altar is going to have that happen. And it came to pass that when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which had cried against the altar of Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, Lay hold upon him. He's not very happy, this person, saying these things about his kingdom. And his hand, which he put forth against him, dried up, so that he could not pull it in again to him. So he's afflicted in some way. I was trying to figure out what it means by dried up, but I'm guessing he couldn't move his muscles. Well, sorry. The altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord. So what this man said, the sign came true. It said it be ripped apart or something, and it was. It doesn't say how or why, but it was, and the ashes fell out from it. The king answered and said unto the man of God, Entreat now the face of the Lord thy God, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored again. And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand was restored to him, and became as it was before. So he had two miracles there, a sign and a miracle with his hand. And the king said unto the man of God, Come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. I don't know what his intention there, because it doesn't show that he is repentant in his actions after this. But he was going to have the man of God go there. I don't know if he was going to, he already wanted them to take him or kill him or something, but now he's saying, come to my house. And the man of God said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so was it charged me by the word of the Lord, saying, eat no bread, nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way that thou comest. Basically saying, no, I can't do that because the Lord said to give you this message and then leave, basically. So he went another way and returned not the way he came to Bethel. Now the story changes a little bit to another person who we also don't have the name of. So we don't have the man of God or this prophet. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel. The words which he had spoken unto the king, them they told also their father. And their father said unto them, what way went he? And the sons had seen which way the man of God went, and which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon. Now, I had to read this quite a few times to understand. This seems like somebody that's going, wow, there was a man of God and I missed it. I want to see this person. It's hard to see exactly what he's trying to accomplish here, but that's what I felt when I was reading this. I read it a few times just to try to get this message and understand what's this prophet trying to do. And he went after the man of God and found him sitting under the oak, and he said unto him, art thou the man of God that camest from Judah? And he said, I am. Then he said, come home with me and eat bread. Now remember, he heard everything. His sons told him everything. So I'm guessing he knew that he wasn't supposed to return. But in any case, if they'd omitted that, which doesn't show in the story, it would change a little bit what he says. But either way, this old prophet, as they called him, invites him to come home and eat. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said to me by the word of the Lord, thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou comest. So he knows. Again, he tells what the Lord said, and he says it to this prophet. And he said unto him, this is the prophet, I am a prophet also, as thou art. Now I wrote that in gray because I kind of felt that he was not doing what he should do as a prophet. He's kind of saying, oh, I do the same thing as you do. It's hard to see exactly what he's saying here, but I do feel a little bit like when I read this, I got it to the point where I'm thinking a little bit of trickery here. Oh, I'm as good as you, so why not do the same thing I'm doing? Kind of. I guess I was thinking about people who, when you're doing something, for instance, trying to live the word of wisdom, for instance, and somebody will say something like, well, I go to church and I do this and I do that, but I don't live the word of have to live the word of wisdom. So why do you? It's that sort of thing that I'm getting, vibe I got from this, but I read it again, and it got even more confusing a little bit, but at the same time, it's basically he's inviting him to break what the Lord said for him. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So to me, that's saying this person that was supposed to have been a prophet basically told him a lie, that an angel had appeared to him and told him that he should go to his house and eat. And this man of God, it seems like he could have just said, or could have said in his mind, well, I did turn to Jeroboam, but it's a bit of a gray area to whether or not I need to return back right immediately, and instead of having a feast at this prophet's house. He seems like a good guy. He seems to know what he's talking about. Maybe I should just go there. When we decide to change what we know to be from the Lord to something that is, well, maybe it's a good idea, but maybe I don't understand it, I can change it. I think that's when we get in trouble. One thing is that we've got the Joseph Smith translation where it says drink water. And so if we go to the footnote here, and it says, Bring him back with thee unto thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water, that I may prove him. And he lied not unto him. So it changes it a little, that this prophet was not just a false prophet, wasn't a false prophet, but somebody that was testing this guy, this man of God, to see that he'd be faithful. That's another reading from it. It's a lot to take in, and I'll probably learn more and more as I look at this at other times. So he went back with him and did eat bread in his house and drink water. And it came to pass that they sat at the table, that as they sat at the table, the word of the Lord came unto the prophet and brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Forasmuch as thou hast obeyed the mouth of the Lord, and thou hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. Sorry, did I say that wrong? Forasmuch as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee. So he's putting it out there. The prophet is prophesying, doing what he does. And he's telling this man of God that he has not done what he's supposed to do. He hasn't followed the commandments of God. He gave the message, that he followed the commandment there. He started out without eating or drinking with Jeroboam, but left to go back to Jerusalem. But then when he was enticed by this second person to stop and have something to eat with them, he's probably quite hungry by this time. Then he gets this revelation, or whatever you want to call it. He's done something wrong, and the Lord's letting him know it. But thou camest back, and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place which the Lord said unto thee, Eat no bread, drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. And it came to pass that he had eaten bread, and after he had drunk, he saddled for him the ass, to wit, the prophet from whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass, and behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass, and they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet had brought him back from the way, heard thereof, he said, It is the man of God who is disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore, thereof, I think, and he said, It is the man of God who is disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord hath delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him and slain him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake unto him. So, it is according to the word of the Lord, meaning this guy knew, or should have known, that being disobedient to the Lord would cause this. People are in different levels, and this person knew everything they needed to, that they were subject to even death with breaking it. And he spake to his son, saying, Saddle me saddle me the ass. And they saddled him, and he went and found the carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass nor torn the ass, so that the donkey and the lion were there, but the body was still dead, and the lion hadn't eaten it. That's the real miracle. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God and laid it upon the ass and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him. And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, At last, my brother. Now, I'm not sure if this could be a really good example of foreshadowing, but remember that Christ, after being crucified, was laid in Joseph of Arimathea's grave. So somehow, whether or not that is what it is meant to do, it's a good way to remember that one of the prophecies that was fulfilled, that the Lord would not have his own grave, that he'd be buried in somebody else's. before he is resurrected. And it came to pass that after he had buried him, that he spake to his sons, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried, and lay my bones beside his bones. For the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar of Bethel, and against the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people the priests of the high places. Whosoever would he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. And this thing became a sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and destroy it from off the face of the earth. And that is where that story comes in, where he was prophesied that his house would be cut off. He was given a sign, and he didn't even seem to flinch at it. He returned to his evil way. That's why I think when he asked the man of God to come to his house, he wasn't just doing it because he believed him or something. He was literally had something. He wasn't doing it because he was going to repent. He wasn't. It's an interesting story, and it's really weird to see this man of God be disobedient. It's something. It's an interesting story, one that I'm not familiar with until now, and I found it really interesting to read. I hope you did too, even though it's quite late and I was a bit tired.